This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com in review. I've always had an issue with people using the word art, because oftentimes when they do it, there's a certain pretentiousness, a certain holier-than-thou attitude that these people emanate like freaking cosmic waves. It's really irritating, to say the least. For instance, on Joe Rogan's podcast, I see him talk a lot about our art. It's like, oh my God, get over yourself. You're a freaking comedian. Now, that's not to say that comedy isn't art. That's not to say movies aren't art. But see, for my thinking anyway, art is something you approach. Art is the pinnacle of what you do. It's not just you doing it. And that's the difference, I guess, between me and people like Joe Rogan and James Mangold, for instance, who I've debated about this on Twitter. Well, for a little while. They get really irritated really fast. But that being said, art is the pinnacle. Art is when you become so adroit, so good at what you do, it becomes something unique in and of itself. Martin Scorsese is an artist. David Fincher is an artist. Sorry, I don't think James Mangold's an artist. He's working at it, and I don't begrudge him that. But an artist? No, I don't think so. Joe Rogan? No. He's not an artist. He may one day reach the point where his work becomes that of art. Like Bill Hicks, George Carlin, Richard Pryor. These men turned comedy into art and into something brilliant, remarkable, something uniquely their own. Sorry, Joe Rogan has not done that. What he does is not art. It may one day be art. Why am I ranting about art? Because I've just seen Tony Gilroy's Velvet Buzzsaw. And it's a pretty good movie in that, though what I often say, not without caveats. It's a movie revolving around the art world. And it's it's a comedy actually, a comedy of manners. In the sense that it's about the shallowness, the cattiness, the greediness of people in the art world, more so than it is about the art. In fact, I would argue the art is peripheral to the people. And it's very well acted. Rene Russo, Jake Gyllenhaal, John Malkovich. There's no lack of actors who are of high caliber in this movie. The thing with Velvet Buzzsaw, though, is that it doesn't quite know what it wants to be, and that is its weakness. And ironically enough, if it wanted to approach the level of art, again, art with a capital A, and I have to repeat this because I think it's worth repeating, art is something that at the pinnacle of what you do, you achieve. Art is not you just doing something. That is not art. That's you doing whatever, which warrants respect. But that's not art. Art is the pinnacle. Art is, for me at any rate, the best of what you do. It's what separates you from everyone else. It's what makes you uniquely you. And not everyone can say that. Not every comedian, not every filmmaker. Not everyone produces art. Some people just produce movies. Some people are just comedians. What they do is not art. Sorry, it's not. So, Velvet Buzzsaw deals with the people around the art. And it doesn't quite know what it wants to be. I wish it had actually aimed for art, and that to go all out with, because there are horror / David Cronenbergian elements to this movie. But as I said, it doesn't know what it wants to be, though. Is it just a comedy of manners? Is it a horror film? It tries to mesh both worlds, both not terribly successfully. And that's its greatest flaw. It's entertaining, it's well worth watching, but it just doesn't know what it wants to be. It's afraid to commit. And that's what separates something that's not art from something that is. The artist commits fully and gives everything, I mean literally everything, to their craft. It's all that matters to them. It's the most important thing, and it shows. It's not always good, but because that's not the point of art, frankly. Sometimes art's purpose is to provoke. It's to annoy, it's to irritate, it's to make you think. So it doesn't have to be good always, but it has to be balls out. There's no compromise with art. So, using my definition, Velvet Buzzsaw is a pretty good movie. It's not nearly as good as it wants to be, though. And that's because it refuses to commit. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.